Hey guys, what's up? Rulk back here again with some new updates being announced from Kabam about Marvel Contest of Champions. I'm really excited about this. If any of you guys have watched my videos in the past, you know that I've kind of been disappointed with the state of Alliance Wars and how they operate and stuff for quite some time now. I feel like they've really been needed to have a revamp done. And it sounds like we're going to be getting it. So version 15.0 is right around the corner. It's going to land August 30th. Along with the new event quests and a whole bunch of other stuff, new 6 shards, blah blah blah. That's all covered in different videos. This one, we're talking about Alliance Wars updates. So, Kabam Mike announced today on the forums that they're going to be retooling Alliance Wars, and they're going to shake it up, in his own words. So, starting right out, the first big thing is it's a brand new map, right? So we've got a bigger map. It's there, and it's about 1.5 times the old map size. And they're adding portals, so now they've got portals in there. This was not something that's been around for a long time. I think this came around in December 2016, around the time of when they introduced Dormammu during the Doctor Strange quests. I think around the time the movie was released. So if you've been playing the game in recent history, you know what portals are. They're an interesting way to get around the map, but they tend to be confusing sometimes as far as where they're going, and I think I'm heading in this direction, but I'm going to go a different direction. What they're claiming here is that portals are going to give summoners greater control over their movement in Alliance Wars, and portals help do just that. Portals will allow summoners to move around the map more freely, allowing you to help out Alliance mates that are in trouble, or to move away from a section that you weren't totally prepared for. So, it sounds like you're not going to have the linear paths that we used to have, where once you pick a direction, you're on that path, you're kind of set in that direction. So if you ran into a really difficult area, or you picked the wrong one, it sounds like you're going to have some sort of an opportunity using portals to jump over to a different area, or to get backup to come help you from another Alliance member who maybe is still alive and has some strength left. So I think that's really interesting. I don't know how that's going to play out. I really need to see the map, but I'm excited for it. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to, vary it up a bit, instead of just assigning somebody to a path and saying, hey, you're path F, here you go, and that's it. See you later at the end. So I think it could be interesting, but we're just going to have to wait and see where that one lands. So like I said, the bigger map. The other thing is they're going to have less linked nodes and a shorter energy refresh timer. So because the map is going to be 1.5 times the size it was previously, they're going to drop down the energy timer on this from 1.5 hours, which it currently is, down to 1 hour. Now this is kind of the same timer that we get when there's kind of a screw up or they're testing something out, but they're saying that this is going to be made permanently, as far as I can tell reading this. So now both Alliance Quest and Alliance Wars will be on a 60-minute timer for their regular duration. So that's interesting. I think it's definitely necessary with increasing the size of the map, so I think that's a good move on them. They're going to change the points for exploration now, so they're saying, so it used to be 450 per node to 300 points per node, so it will actually be roughly equal to what it was, or what it is currently. So there's not really going to change that. You're not going to get more points out of exploration, basically. It's still going to be about the same, but you'll have more nodes to hit and whatnot. So the other thing is, so changing the status quo. Up till now, you've gotten pretty used to finding a more manageable fight towards the center. Right, so what they're going to do is, in the current state of Alliance War, basically all the link nodes work from the center out. And then the weakest local nodes work from the center and get stronger as you get to the outer edges. So if you're running path 1 all the way farthest left, or path 9, I think, all the way farthest to the right, those ones have the worst nodes on them, the local nodes. That mean, even though you get rid of the boosted node, the linked node power up, you're still going to have a tough fight with a lot of thorns, slash tires, all or nothing, crazy power gains, immunity, all kinds of just crazy stuff, degen. So it sounds like they're going to be flipping that on its head. So instead of just kind of focusing on clearing the middle first, like we do now, and then working your way path by path towards the outer edges. It's going to be completely opposite. You're going to work toward from the outside in towards the middle, where the middle is going to have the hardest fights. And they're also going to have a lot less linked nodes. So I don't know how this is all going to work out. We'll just have to see. There's a lot of this depends on what the heck is this map going to look like. And I'm sure it's going to be quite a learning curve to go along with it. And along with this retooling of the map, they're also going to be adding more mini bosses. So this is interesting. They're gonna up us from 3 mini bosses up to 5 mini bosses before you want to start your fight against the boss. So I don't know what that's gonna do for it, but it sounds very interesting. So it sounds like it's gonna definitely spread out your team more. So if you have 5 mini bosses, if you have 10 in a battle group, then you're going to, just do the simple math. You're going to have 2 summoners fighting each mini boss. So I don't know it depends on what the nodes are going to look like there, what the boosts are going to be on the local boosts for those mini bosses. I know right now the left mini boss tends to be the stacked one with that immunity boost on that node. The other ones are usually pretty manageable to handle. So I'm hoping that they balance them out a little bit more than they currently are. That'll be interesting to see. So they've also simplified some of the buffs. So some of the redundant, this is a minor thing, some of the redundant buffs, like where they had, like it has the example. So instead of one node featuring 50% champion boost, as well as 100% champion boost, these will be combined into a singular 150% champion boost. So yeah, it's just tidying things up. Nothing really major there. The big one here is that they are getting rid of all instances of thorns and slash tires across every difficulty level. No more thorns. Period. No more slash tires. Done. I'm really glad that this is happening. I feel like thorns and slash tires are just really crappy. It's just crappy gameplay mechanics. It's not fun. It's not interesting. And basically, the only major way around it is, hey, who has Black Widow? That sucks. You have only 3 characters you can bring on your Alliance War attack team, and I feel like everybody, once you get to the higher levels of that, all you're doing is putting on champions who have defensive ability reduction as part of their ability set. So, you're not free to explore the different champions you have, and then you're kind of limited on if you're in a higher tier alliance, that competes heavily in wars. Like, if you don't have some of these key characters like Elektra or Black Widow or Crossbones, which are really the primary 3, and if you notice, they're all skilled champions too, so it doesn't give very much diversity. But if you don't have those, you're kind of screwed. I mean, where is your alliance going to send you if you can't handle thorns? And once you get, I think like tier 3 and above, up to tier 1, there's thorns all over the place currently. It's absolutely insane. So I'm really glad to see these ones going. I'm really interested to see what kind of other nodes they're going to be bringing in. So we'll see. What's the next one? Some more information, helpful decision. This I find interesting. So they're going to give you the ability, now even on the most difficult levels of Alliance Wars, you will always at least be able to see the class of the opponents you're facing. So I think that's great from a strategy purpose for officers. I was an officer for quite some time myself. Had to deal with a lot of, who do you send where type stuff. And I feel like this is a good one because you can be a little bit more prepared for what's coming up, and I think you can pick your alliance offense a little bit more strategically by previewing the map ahead of time and kind of talking as a group to see who's going to go where and which characters should I bring if you don't have a set 3 that you're going to bring all the time. And I'm hoping that's what that kind of changes, is that right now a lot of people have a set 3 because they have a set path and that's it. They just bring the same ones and run it the same way. So I'm hoping this is going to shake it up a little bit. This ought to be interesting. and definitely make more team dynamics and communication, so that it is uh, you know um, giving you some more strategy and stuff to talk about. Anyhow, moving on. So they're also introducing skirmish rewards. So a skirmish is just basically a match in Alliance War. So basically, you're going to get a small chunk of gold for each kill earned by an attacker or a defender. So I like this. I don't think it's going to be a whole lot, but I'm excited to have yet another avenue to collect gold through, because gold is now, especially when we talk about the introduction of 6-star characters and more 5-star characters, gold is a resource we're going to need more access to. We're going to need a lot more ways to get gold. Otherwise, you're just going to be tapped out all the time, and it's going to impact Alliance Quest. People aren't going to have the resources to upgrade their characters, use the ISO they're getting, and still pay for Alliance Quest maps. So glad to see they're doing even just a little bit to try to bring in some more of that. So more stuff, changes to the scoring methods. Um, so like we said before, they're changing the score that you get for you know I'm sorry. So what you're going to get from exploration per node. Also, they're also saying, in addition to promoting this, will be the new nodes will boost certain attributes like energy damage or bleed. We're introducing a brand new way to earn points in Alliance Wars. So what that's doing is they're trying to diversify the defenders that you're bringing in by kind of boosting these different archetypes. By giving very specific nodes, much like the enhanced poison node that they have currently. I think it's node 6, or is it 12? Not sure, but it's just up the center path in the first one to the left, in the current map. And I think this could be interesting. Usually those nodes currently don't, aren't something that people put stuff on, but that's just because all the other ones are so insanely powerful, like ones that have thorns and power gain and crazy stuff like that. So I think it's interesting. We'll see where it goes. But they're also going to be rewarding you for Defender Diversity points. So Defender Diversity points are awarded to alliances for bringing in unique champions as defenders. You'll be awarded a small amount of points for each unique champion your alliance places as a defender across all of your battle groups. And they're saying the example here of okay, you got a 4-star Hulk in Battle Group 1. Somebody brings a 5-star Hulk in Battle Group 3. That doesn't count as a separate champion. It's still just the Hulk. So it is literally just the character that has to be unique. So it's interesting to see how much that's going to factor in. I don't know so much. It sounds like it's going to, like they're saying there, the scoring system will not award large amount of points and will act more as a tiebreaker than a game changer. So I don't think it's going to be too much of an effect there to encourage people to bring different stuff. I think you're still going to bring whatever's the best defensive characters. I think just now it's not going to necessarily be based on putting them with a node that makes them an insane pain in the ass. It seems like it's going to be a little more even playing field. So it sounds like you'll be able to play around with the options of who you can bring as a defender now. So that's not all. We're also making a major change to the scoring method you're all used to by removing points received for defender kills. So this is controversial for a lot of people. They're removing the points you get from defender kills. Defender kills in the new system will be completely gone, a thing of the past. Now, a lot of the wars that come down to even battle group clears, meaning everybody's gotten all the bosses down, and it's pretty close, right, or right the same on exploration. A lot of times the tipping point is defender kills. And some people feel that by removing defender kills, you're rewarding those who are willing to spend, because now you're not penalized for spending units and spending revives. So you can go through and you can just spam the crap out of stuff and use up all 15 of your items that are available and revive until you get the kill down. So some people feel like it's not going to reward skill, but rather that it's going to reward players that have big pockets that are big spenders. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think what this is going to do now is they're saying here um, they're increasing the points received for attacker kills. So I think what it's pushing towards is it's going to be more of a skill based thing where it's going to encourage you more to get the kill. But I mean, now you don't have the negative consequence of if you don't get the kill, then you're giving points. But it also, they're giving the example of, they don't want people to feel stuck. And I think that's a good thing. I think that there needs to be an increased pace in the tempo of the Alliance Wars, and that doing this will make you not as fearful to proceed and keep fighting. So if you run into a few opponents in the beginning that are really tough and you lose 2 out of 3 of your characters right off the bat, you're not just going to sit there and park it and say, somebody help me, I need backup, run my path with me. You can keep going, you can keep trying, and kind of just set some rules for your group and say, look, I mean, we're kind of more of a free to play group. Let's only just spend no more than 1 revive per person or something, or whatever. You can figure it out, but at least you're not feeling like you're gonna be scrutinized by your alliance or your battle group because you spent items to do a revive because you got your ass handed to you right in the beginning. So I think that's nice. It's going to keep more people in play. It's going to keep things moving along a little bit better. So I think that's good. New thing they're going to do is they're going to kind of bring a stat into your summoner profile of how many times you're the MVP in Alliance Wars. I expect probably in a near future update you'll also see the same thing for Alliance Quest, if I had to guess. So everybody's going to start at 0 upon launch of 15.0, and then you'll rack them up from there. I mean, it's just a nice little trophy case thing. Nothing major there. They're going to be bringing some new boosts to the loyalty store that are specifically, exclusively only for Alliance Wars. And these are interesting. So, and they're saying here, which I find a little bit confusing, they are also not a permanent addition to the loyalty store and will only be available at random. So I think you're just going to have to check it every now and then and see if they're there. I'm sure the info bots and stuff like that and the community pages will be all over this when they do happen, and they'll be letting people know so you can snatch up the good ones. But real quick rundown of what they are. So they're going to have an advanced power boost. This boost will allow you to start the fight with 1 bar of power already stored. That's pretty cool. It's going to give you a jump start, especially if you have a character who's good at power controlling, so like magic or vision that you're going to be bringing in to do power control. It's going to give you that leg up so you can get that fired off faster and really throttle the fight and control it. So I think that's pretty cool. Combat regeneration boost. So basically this is going to give you 15% of your max health over 20 seconds. It's not affected at all by masteries or anything else or any abilities that would extend or lengthen it. It's kind of like Dr. Voodoo's regeneration that he gets in the beginning of every fight, where it just, is a set amount and it happens for a set duration unless it's boosted by his signature ability. But they're saying this will not be affected by that. So it's a flat 15%, 20 seconds. Every single fight you start with that. It can't be nullified, but it's still affected by heal block nodes and abilities. So it's a passive regeneration, is not affected by masteries. So I think that's pretty neat. It's basically can turn everybody into that kind of function that Dr. Voodoo has, which is pretty cool, and it definitely is going to help you get through the game more. And I think what that'll do, if these are available enough, is it'll make it so that people don't feel that regen champs are so critical to have. That you can bring in a regular champion that maybe dishes out some more damage or has some other utility that you want, and you could use this boost to basically convert a non-regen champion into a temporary regen champion at the beginning of each fight to kind of make up the small amount you may have lost from parry damage or a little slip up here and there in the previous fights. So I think that's interesting. We'll see how it plays out. It really depends on the availability of these boosts. Then they have the invulnerability boost. This boost will allow your champion to take no damage from the first 3 hits they receive in a fight. And it says here, remember, special 3 attacks only count as 1 hit. So this is, I think, a big deal. The first 3 hits they receive in a fight. Now, I don't know if this resets for every fight. Not sure. But that could be interesting. If it's every fight for the duration, and I think the duration they said here that these boosts, yeah, will only be active for 3 minutes. So how many fights can you do in 3 minutes? If it does refresh every fight, I know you can do at least one, definitely 2 fights, probably 3 or 4 fights in a 3 minute period if you're really kicking some ass. But so basically, I mean, if you're playing awesome, you're playing really tight, and you're not getting hit, and you're not screwing up, and you get them all the way up to their special 3, they can fire it off if they want, and you're going to take 0 damage, and you can just keep on going. So this is going to kind of might help you bypass some of those things where you get the crazy power gain champions like Mordo or Hyperion in your tracks, and you got to find a way around them. And if you didn't bring a champion that is able to control that power effectively into your team, well, this may be an option to basically turn one of those champions into a power control type champion, in a sense, whereas you're just kind of able to wail on them without worrying about it. So that's cool. So then additionally, we're bumping up the potency of boosts that you already used. You're already used to seeing in the loyalty store, like class-specific special and power boosts. I think that's good. Honestly, I have so many of those in my inventory, and I just never use them. So moving on, this is just kind of the recap of everything we just talked about. Trying to see if there's anything I missed, anything major. No, looks like I got it. So let's see. So here's an important point. The rewards revamp is kind of coming soon. So they say there are currently no adjustments being made to the rewards in Alliance Wars, but a revamp is on our radar as we move closer to the release of new content and 6 stars in the future. This is a major one that really needs to be retooled. I mean, once you get to the higher tier alliances, it's a good amount of 5-star shards and a good amount of 4-star shards if you win, and you're definitely still getting some shards even if you lose just for playing the game. But I feel like it needs to be more. I mean, especially when you're in those high levels, when you're dealing with all the BS thorns and slash tires and stun immunity and immunity nodes, it's just like you really need that. You're not being compensated for the level of pain in the ass that it is. But seeing how they're removing a lot of those, it makes it a little more bearable, I think. But still, especially in light of looking towards the future of 6-star characters, making 5 stars even more available, making 4 stars even more available yet, they really need to revamp these and start bringing in some more rewards for these. So it's coming soon. When, we don't know, but can't come soon enough. But hold on. There's still more that you need to know. Get prepared for the next iteration of Alliance Wars. So some changes. So as it comes to a close, as war matchmaking comes to a close on August 30th, it will stay down for an extended period of time. Matchmaking will resume on September 6th. After the launch of 15.0. So it's going to be down for quite some time. So no wars for a while. And if it's anything like the launch of Season 4 Alliance Quest, I mean, if there's problems and there's bugs that they need to fix and sort out, it could get delayed even further by a week or two. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but we're definitely going to have just about a solid week worth of downtime on this one. But to compensate during this time, they're going to be making some adjustment in other areas. So Alliance Quest is going to get a free week from August 27th, Sunday, August 27th to Thursday, August 31st. There'll be 0 cost to run any of the maps, and Alliance Quest energy will refresh every 30 minutes. So we're getting 30-minute timers and no cost. So hopefully, I mean, spread the word to your alliance, tell all your officers and stuff so you guys can get a free week of donations or something. So you can keep some resources, upgrade some champions. Definitely just hold on to them and see how the thing plays out, because it's going to change what's going to be considered a good attacker or a good defender now. So maybe see if you guys can hold your resources for a week, give everybody a little bit more to work with, try it, try a week or two, and then you'll use those extra resources to maybe see who you want to upgrade or whatever. So additionally, the last piece is that Act 4 will have the energy cost temporarily reduced from 3 energy per step to 2 energy per step from August 28th to September 6th. So if you haven't completed Act 4 or you haven't done it 100%, this is an excellent time to do this, because let me tell you, there are a lot of freaking nodes in Act 4. A lot. I just finished it in like a week or two ago, and I used a lot of energy refills to just burn through it, because I just needed to get it done, and it's something I put off. But it would be nice if I got it with this, but hey, no sense in regretting looking back. So any of you who haven't done this, pay attention. You should look to do this if you want to work on Act 4. So that's it. Overall, I'm excited. I like to embrace change rather than whine about it. So for the most part, but I'm excited. I'm glad they're doing something. I mean, just this inactivity of doing nothing and just sticking with the status quo of what they've had is getting stale, and I'm glad that they're taking steps just to shake it up a bit and kind of flip it on its head and see what happens. I'm sure it's not going to be perfect right off the bat. Nothing ever is. I'm sure there's going to be things that they thought made sense that in reality, when it comes into the game and we start playing it, it's going to be like, what the hell is this? Why do we do that? It doesn't make any sense. So be patient, get on the forums, leave constructive feedback, help them get it better. But I'm just glad that they're doing something, and I think this is a positive. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Please tell me what you think. Leave a comment below. I'll leave a link to this this post in the forums as well in the description area. You can find that down there. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in as always. If you like the video, please feel free to leave a like, hit subscribe, share around, and leave those comments. I really want to hear what you guys' thoughts are. I love to check the comments and get some feedback from the community and stuff, and go with that. So all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Later.